they've done an unbelievable job just as far as managing the day-to-day of positives, negatives, contact all that stuff. It is how we room our guys at the hotel is a complicated formula. There's so much thought that goes into this as far as just keeping everybody safe and everybody healthy as best we can. And still, there's no perfect formula for it. I do think everybody on this staff and in this program understands the importance of being smart away from this bubble that we're trying to create here. But then there's also, we've had positives where I know nobody's done anything. They've done nothing. They've done, they've gone here and they've gone home and they've gone to, get something to eat because they have to. And it's come back as a positive. So I don't have an answer. I don't think anybody should or would be putting themselves in a position where they're like, this doesn't matter. I hope that. Let me say that. I hope that, because it does matter. I think we've taken this very seriously. I think that we've understand that what we're doing right now, having the opportunity to play, is a privilege, and to be mature about that, knowing that this is still happening around, our state, and that we don't need to be a part of that, the issue from that standpoint, because we've been afforded the opportunity to go play. So let's focus on just the season. Let's focus on doing things right. This takes tremendous discipline and mental toughness to do that. But it's for the opportunity we have, but also it's for everybody in this community, that we don't become one of those programs that are an issue or we add to what's happening around us. So I sure hope that. I sure hope nobody's sitting there going like, hey, we got this thing figured out. We don't have it figured out. We have a process that we utilize, but this is not even close to being where we have things figured out. And if anybody feels that way and they're acting that way outside of this building, I feel comfortable in here. I do. I feel comfortable inside our facility, and that we have a lot of really good things in place that we're doing, and that people obviously here they're healthy when they come in here, and they should be when they go play in the game. Outside of here, I hope nobody feels like that we've got this thing figured out, and the outside environment is not the same as what environment we have here right now. And we have to understand that. We have to know that.
Will Hall, followed by Paul J., and that's probably going to be it for time, guys.
Hey, Hars, you reflect over the course of your entire coaching career. What have you learned that has been most helpful in bouncing back from a tough game?
Well, I think the number one thing is, what did you learn? I've learned I've been pissed off for a while after a game, which you should be, but how long does that last? All right, that becomes, the maturity, I guess, over time. You use that as motivation, but every single thing that happens to you, good or bad, and especially when it's bad, like, what did you learn? And I don't think, well, in my opinion, I think that's something that everybody should do, to sit back and really just go, all right, what did you learn? Like, it can be, you can say that's crap, or you can have all these other reasons why it happened, but it still happened. And if you don't take a minute to internalize it and learn something from it, then it's a waste. And I've done that too. I've blown things without, when I was younger, you just kind of blow things off and you move on to the next thing, right? Everybody wants to just move on. And what I've learned over time is that you don't just move on, you learn, and then you use that so that you can move forward, in my opinion. So to me, that comes with maturity. And I understand it. Like, guys have tough, when you lose, you don't want to have to relive it, right? But we come back, and here's the beauty of football in some ways, where I believe it helps develop young men and people in our program to be, to have that toughness that you kind of need to be successful at some things, is because you have to go back and watch. Everyone wants to watch all the highlights, right? They all want to watch when they had a good game. It's like, show that one again, show that one again. But when it's not good, you want to just try to get through it as fast as you can. And we try to be consistent. No, we're going to study it and we're going to learn from it. And that's painful at times. However, I think that is what helps you develop that toughness that you need to know, like, all right, I'm going to be okay. I didn't do well in that moment. All right, I had a bad moment, but I'm not going to turn this into a bad day because of that. I had a bad moment. Learn from it. All right, take it in. I wish people would do more of that. It's not bad. Like that those hard times are not bad. Matter of fact, they help you. I think they help you develop what you need for when the next one comes up. You already been through it, and you're going to be able to know deep down in your soul that I can handle this. And when you know you can handle something that's tough, watch out. Watch out. So that's a tough challenge because we deal with kind of the same age group, and certainly when I was that age, I wouldn't say I had all those tools that I have now, and that's something you develop over time. So we're trying to, through experience, teach our guys those type of things in a short amount of time that maybe that they can use now, and I hope they can while they're here, but then certainly they can use down the road. And I believe that's what I learned and what you still learn now. You watch a game and you know that as a coach you made a big mistake. You put in a poor plan on something right there, and you got to own it. You just got to own it. You got to own it, and you got to go back and kind of just say, all right, what do I have to do better next time? Not point fingers at people and all that, but say, what can I do? What can we do? Where did we miss something? And how do we improve the next time so this doesn't happen? And, that's kind of what we're talking about today. We tried to move on. You guys are asking questions about the previous game. All right. Well, hey, we're going to learn from it, and then we're going to move. We've moved on to Colorado State, and we're going to take what we've learned and we're going to apply it this week. And by no means are we going to think what we did and just say, yeah, the reason why this didn't work, we still have a really good process and all that. We do, but we're going to have to tweak some things because it didn't go well. And so to sit there and just say, yeah, we'll just do the same exact thing over again, that ain't happening. That would be zero development, in my opinion.
Paul J., last one.
Okay, Coach, moving on to Colorado State. They had a new quarterback, Patrick O'Brien, big, strong kid, kind of a Josh Allen type, threw for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for another one. What kind of problems does he give your defense, or do you think he'll give your defense?
Well, yes, Colorado State, let's talk about him. Patrick O'Brien, 6'5", big dude, 25 of 36, 337 yards, 3 TDs. Marcus McElroy, their tailback, is a guy. Dante Wright, Trey McBride, that guy's as good of a tight end as we'll see. I think, he does a great job on the line of scrimmage. He can catch. I mean, he poses a lot of issues. All right, for a lot of teams. I think their O-line, I know Barry Wesley is a guy that he's started a lot of games. They got experience at that position there. So, and they're physical. They play physical. That seems to be the style. They played a physical game against Wyoming. And I don't know how long it's been, but they hadn't beat Wyoming in a long time. It's the Iron Boot. Is that what it is? Am I right on that one? There's the boot out there. So they're playing for something. And they were able to beat a Wyoming team. We know Wyoming because Coach Bowl, and we know what they're capable of. We played them, so we know what, sometimes kind of what that team's all about. We don't know that much about Colorado State. And then they just played a really good Wyoming team that we consider, and they beat them. So I think they're physical. I think their quarterback, he can spin it. You're right, Josh Allen type guy that's got a lot of tools that way. Defensively, they were physical. I thought they tackled well. They were physical at the line of scrimmage. And then their punter, Ryan Stonehouse, this guy is one of the best punters in the country. Ray Guy Award watch list, 46.9 yards is career average. I mean, that's 50 yards, right, as a punter. So they got weapons from that standpoint in the field position category. So we spent time on him. We watched him. We jumped right into it after our game. And You know, we've watched the games that they played. A little bit of history with Adazio, kind of go back to the Boston College where we didn't get a chance to finish the game. So know Steve, and I've gotten to know him over the course of this COVID even better, just because of the phone conversations that we all had to have. And they're a good team. They had a big win. They're coming off a big win. They're a good football team. We got the opportunity now to prepare and do it, you know, a little bit differently than what it was this last week, and get ourselves ready to go. But I've been very impressed with their team and how physical they are and how they played. And, you know, it kind of helps us with our preparation on what we feel like we have to do this week to get ready for Colorado State.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Apologies if we didn't